It's time for another watch along. What's going on, guys? Happy Sunday, and it is now WrestleMania season, and we are here to start watching WrestleManias every Sunday between now and WrestleMania. Now, we're going to take next week off because it's Super Bowl here in the United States, so ain't nobody going to be wanting to watch wrestling next week. So 1 week off. Otherwise, we should be up here most Sundays between now and WrestleMania 38. So starting off this week with WrestleMania 10. We have not done this one yet. One of my favorite WrestleManias of all time. I have fond memories of this. I was a junior in high school watching Bret Hart win the title. I was a huge fangirl and a huge, enormous floppy mark, and loved this show. And considering how, you know, kind of underwhelming the product was around this time, it was nice to see them still be able to pack out a big MSG show with a lot of excitement, title changes, all that stuff. And it reminded me of the old days, so to speak, in WWE when things weren't that great in 1994. But it's going to be a blast reliving all this. Somebody mentioned earlier here in the chat already that this is the greatest opening match in WrestleMania history. I agree 100%. It's one of my favorite matches ever in WrestleMania history. So hope you guys are having a good Sunday. I'm going to go over here and say hi to the chat right away. We'll try to get this thing kicked off here in the next 10 minutes so we can finish right at the top of the hour, about 3 hours from now. And if we're going to be watching this on Peacock, obviously, runtime for this show, 2 hours, 44 minutes, 17 seconds. So we'll get into this in a minute. Let me just make sure I can be heard. All right, we're looking good there. Good to see Tatanani, who says he was at WrestleMania 10. Seems like you're at a lot of shows. Are you lying about all this? I'm kidding. That's awesome if you were there. Good to see Justin as well. We are Pro Wrestling. Glad you're here. I usually rely on you for some trivia answers, but I think I got 1994 covered, so we'll see if I need your help at all tonight. Andy Linnell is here as well, WWE fan forever. Rodrigo, Jet the Hawk, David Brown, nice, Maria in the house, Maka International, Robert Ratcliffe, Jay Lambo, and George Morris, and How Weezy. Couple super chats in right away. First one from George. Hey, Greg, how are you doing? WrestleMania 10, 10 out of 10. Would you consider watch-alongs for Manias 4, 5, 7, 8, 12, 13, 14, 22, 23? Or maybe 1. Be safe. We've talked about 23. I think we should maybe do 23. I've also talked about doing 10, 20, 30. Maybe doing 20 and 30 sometime between now and WrestleMania as well. I probably will not do WrestleMania 12 only because more than a third of the show is one match. So it might be hard to do a watch-along for an hour-long Bret and Shawn match that's nothing. You know what I mean? 13 would be fun, though, with Austin. And so would 4. Maybe not 5 or 7, but, possibly. So I think of the ones you mentioned, I'd probably go 14, 23, 13, 14, 23, or 22, or 4, or 8. You got some good ones. The only ones I probably wouldn't be too interested in is 7 and 12, and possibly 5. How Weezy, good to see you, brother. Glad you were here. Thanks for the $5. How Weezy met MJF today and survived and lived to tell the tale. So he put up a picture and tagged me in it on Twitter, which I think I hit it with a retweet, so you guys can check that out over there. And thank you for that 5, How Weezy. I still can't believe I survived MJF, and he didn't say a single word to me, but he destroyed all my friends' souls. Ha, ha, ha. That is awesome. So, I saw him on the Jericho Cruise, and he was very animated in the meet and greets. He was walking away. He was insulting old ladies. It was great. But sometimes he won't even look at you or even acknowledge you, which is almost equally funny. But I'm glad you were able to survive and get through that, that meet and greet there without any tears shed. So very happy for you there, How Weezy, and glad you're in the house. We are Pro Wrestling. I got you earlier to think Vince wanted to do Bret versus Bruce. I know. Every time I hear that story about this whole Bret and Owen thing being designed for Bruce Hart, it blows my mind. Luckily, sanity prevailed, and they went with Owen instead of Bruce. Nothing really against Bruce, but he would not have made a compelling storyline for me, especially physically. He just didn't match up with Bret, where Owen definitely was the most athletic, I think, of all the Hart kids. So he was the right one to go up against Bret, especially since he was already there and Bruce wasn't even working there at the time. I think Bruce was really just out for himself during that whole ordeal. We got Ben and Victor and Alan and Serge, and Timu, OK Reviewer, Mike Witt, John, Steven, Right on. Raymond, I'm not sure if I got you either, but right on. We got a good little audience in the house. So in case you are new here and you do not do these watch-alongs with us every week, how we do it is we watch on Peacock. That's how we're going to follow along. We're all going to hit play together in just a minute, and the timer above my head will start rolling. Now, if anybody has any problems, if my stream freezes or if your stream freezes or you pause or go take a shit or get a snack or whatever, the timer above my head just keeps on rolling. So all you got to do, and all I have to do, is we all just have to sync up to the timer above my head, and we can follow along just fine. This has to be done on Peacock. This is the platform we're using, so if you are outside of the Peacock platform and you're watching somewhere else, you might not match up perfectly, and it might be really hard to match up if you're watching this on DVD or VHS, like we have right here, Coliseum Video, WrestleMania 10, one of my absolute favorite pay-per-views of all time, just because of my extreme fangirlness for Bret Hart. So that's kind of what made it for me. But this card really is loaded. It's only 2 hours and 45 minutes, but we got Bret and Owen. We got Shawn and Razor in that ladder match, and then we got Bret winning the title in the end. And a couple of matches in between, Savage Crush, and then we got that Lex Yoko match. There's a tag title match on here. That 10-man tag got bumped, and I think there's, Bam Bam and Doink and Dink or some shit. So there's some interesting stuff to talk about here on this show and in 1994. So hopefully, while I have been flapping my gums, you guys have pulled up your Peacock and gone to WrestleMania. You're looking for Season 10, of course, Episode 1. Watch any ads that you need to watch and get all of your zeros all across the board there on the bottom. We're all going to hit play together. And we're going to start right from the beginning. No skipping intros, nothing like that. Just playing from the beginning. So hopefully you guys have got Peacock and WrestleMania 10 queued up. And I'm going to get my fingers ready so I can do some timering and some hitting of the play button. So let me get something out of here. All right, let me get all my shit straight. All right, cool. Yeah, 2 hours, 44 minutes, 17 seconds according to Peacock. So if you're on the WWE Network or somewhere else, might be a little bit different. Yeah, this is the show where Macho Man apparently got mad at Shawn and Razor for going a little bit long, but I'm glad they went long because that match changed the business in a lot of ways. So rock and roll. All right, you guys ready for WrestleMania 10? Hope you are. I'm going to get my finger on the timer, and we're going to do a countdown from 3 here in just a second. And as most of you know, I do the double computer thing, so I got WrestleMania 10 pulled up on one computer and my stream shit pulled up on the other, so I have to double mouse this thing and hit play and the timer at the same time, and I've been pretty good at it so far. All right, my fingers are queued up and ready. You guys ready to go? All right, here we go. From a countdown from 3. 3, 2, 1, play. Okay, did I get it? I might be 1 second off, guys. I'm sorry. There we go. All right, I've synced mine up pretty good. Well, my undefeated streak has ended. I have never botched hitting play, and I just did it by like a half a second that time, so not too bad. I'm going to open up a Frosty Stella. I really like this opening sequence here for WrestleMania. They're basically showing highlights of the first one at MSG back in '85. And I remember at the time thinking it was crazy that we've had 10 WrestleManias now. Crazy. There's Hogan and Mr. T. A couple months later, Hogan would be in WCW. The old Linda McMahon theme. Well, I actually liked this WrestleMania theme, even though it was really kind of corny, but I liked it. Brings back memories, you know? All right. Oh, yeah, the big coin toss because of the Royal Rumble. They did all that shit here. Pretty good opening, though, even for 1994. WWE blew WCW away when it came to production. Look at that crowd. Ah. Ooh, goosebumps. And Vince, of course, bringing us in. I'll never forget this night. MSG looks so good when it's packed, especially when they did the old school entranceway like they have here, instead of building the stage or whatever. This is one of my favorite America the Beautifuls ever. Little Vince refers to him. Vince calls him Wild Man. I guess that is Little Richard's one of his nicknames is the Wild Man of rock and roll. But I never really thought about that. Do you think that's why they gave Mark Marrow the Wild Man name when he came in? Because his Johnny B. Bad gimmick was basically like Little Richard. And to hear Vince call Little Richard a Wild Man and then to bring Mark Marrow in 2 years later at WrestleMania 12 and call him the Wild Man, do you think that's why? Is because of his resemblance to Little Richard? I think it might be. I don't know why it took me 28 years to realize that. I think I like the Aretha Franklin's. The one at WrestleMania 3 might be my favorite. This is probably number 2. I always like the choir. I always think that's really cool. What they did something else at WrestleMania. Was it WrestleMania 20? What other WrestleMania did they do a big like choir singing of America the Beautiful? Was it 20? What did they do at 20 for this? I don't even remember. Was 20 like the Harlem Boys Choir or something like that? That one I really like too, whatever year that was. And I like this so much better than the national anthem. It's like a nice different tradition, you know? Yeah, Raymond, I know he didn't go to WWE as Johnny B. Bad, but his Johnny B. Bad gimmick in WCW was basically a knockoff of Little Richard. That's what I'm saying. So when he came to WWE, obviously he can't be Johnny B. Bad, so maybe they named him the Wild Man as a nod to Little Richard, since that's what the Johnny B. Bad character was a nod to. See what I'm saying? Just a thought. I'm sure Bruce has talked about this on Something to Wrestle. Might be a good question to ask him. There, I asked. We'll ask Twitter and tag Mark Marrow in it. See if he has. See if he knows. Oh yeah, maybe Franklin might have had a choir at 23. She didn't at 3. I like 3 just because of the visual. It's just unbelievable. Like her, because it was bright. The Silverdome was so bright in the daytime. The camera on her with that sea of people behind her was just quite the visual. That's some fucking Beatles and, Rolling Stones and Queen type of shit right there. Just that awesome visual of a sea of humanity behind them. Great. I really like this version. I'm always a mark for the choir. I don't know why. I love the singing choirs whenever they bring them in to do anything. I don't know why I'm a mark for it. I just am. Yeah, but I don't even go to church. I hate church, but something about those choirs always... Did you see those 3 fans dressed up as Sean? That was awesome. Hell yeah, Jarrett Berry. Well, I was also at WrestleMania 3. That's another reason why I like it. You should have seen me. What a little shit I was back then. Little 10-year-old heartbreaker. Thank you. My goodness, Vince. Vince in his home. I would have loved to be ringside for this show. So he's going to bring back Lawler. So Lawler's been suspended, and this is his first night back. Oh, shut up, Lawler. I love how he's shirtless. Just... The King is back. Hey, King, where were you at Survivor Series? All them knights had to fight without you. Oh, nice, Jerry. Or Jarrett. Same area in Sterling Heights. I went to Havel Elementary. Spent 2nd grade through 5th grade there before moving down south. Oh, wow. The only time Bret ever wore the singlet was at that Survivor Series. Mike Witt, I don't even know if you want to know why he got suspended. Something to do with an underage girl or something fucking gross. This tends to be the case with Lawler. So we just watched Royal Rumble in January, remember? So this is where Owen challenges him, Bret denies it, then they get back together, and then Bret gets his leg kicked out of his leg, then he ties with Luger at the Rumble, then you do the coin toss, and that's how we get to the match. I'm assuming they're going to show us all of that right now. Okay, reviewer, good to see you, man. Thank you for that $10. Very generous drop from you. Hi, Greg. Big fan of the show. Would you put Bret vs. Owen on the show higher than Bret vs. Perfect at SummerSlam 91? I've never seen Shawn Razor before, so I'm excited for this. Jesus, dude, you've never seen this match? All right. Maybe I'm never going to find out who's the better wrestler. Bret, you know you're better. Well, dude, I cannot believe that you have not seen Shawn versus Razor before. It's going to be weird you looking at it now after all of the years and decades of TLC matches and all the crazy shit we've seen. But you have to understand what we're going to see in this match later. None of this stuff was done yet at the time. So a modern fan eyes might not find Shawn versus Razor that crazy good, but you got to understand, like, for the time, it was game changing. It was business industry changing, that type of match. It really was. Well, I'm happy for you, dude. Those are probably my 2 favorite Bret Hart matches ever, Bret and Perfect and Bret and Owen. So you're putting me in a tight spot there to decide which one I like more. You know, the sentimental reason wants Bret and Owen because it's an MSG, it's at Mania, but that Perfect match with Bret, that was what launched him. Without that match, Bret would have never gotten to face Owen like this and gotten a chance to wrestle for the championship. So that's close. I'm going to go Bret and Owen. I'm going to rank Bret and Owen just a nudge higher, but Bret and Perfect is right there for me as well. Yeah, there was some sort of allegations on Lawler. I don't remember the exact story. That's why I don't want to say anything that's not correct. But I do know it had something to do with some sort of underage girl, possibly statutory rape, something like that. And basically they had to wait for the shit to blow over before bringing him back. Forgot about that ring announcer. I forget his name. Oh, and here comes Owen. Vince is acting like it was going to be Bret. I'm like, well, you heard Owen's music. I guess the ring announcer says from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. They were expecting the fans to start cheering, and then Owen comes out. But I don't think it worked out the way they planned. One of my favorite WrestleMania sets. Simple, but memorable. X marks the spot. Oh, there's Vladimir. Oh, yeah, him and his buddies have got bow ties and WWF written on their shirts. He was probably messing around with the cat then. I don't know. The cat in 1994 was probably underage. I remember I was working. I was in my first year working in restaurants, and I worked the night before this. And I was busing. I was a busboy, and I remember that night all I could. I mean, I think WrestleMania was on a Sunday. If it was a Saturday, then it would have been a Friday. But whatever the night before this show was, I was at work, and I remember I couldn't stop thinking about tomorrow. I'm like, tomorrow's the day. Tomorrow's the day. I remember going into the dry storage and just psyching myself up. God, come on, Bret, you gotta win. You gotta win. That's how crazy I was. Another first for this show is Bret never really wore the long deal again. I liked the way he looked in this. It was basically a leather jacket, but with coattails. And I'm pretty sure he would wear this the next night on Raw when he was champ. And then I don't recall him wearing it again. And he wouldn't even wear this thing out to the ring when he fought Yoko later on. That one of my favorite entrances ever, just with Bret coming through that with the WrestleMania banner behind him. Fucking awesome. I mean, it was a long year for me. I mean, I waited a year. That WrestleMania 9, I had PTSD. I still have PTSD from WrestleMania 9. So by the time we got here, I think I was so nervous because I was like, if Bret gets fucked over again, like if they put the fucking title on Luger tomorrow, I'm going to lose my mind. I couldn't even get my work done the night before. I just could not stop thinking about, I don't think I got any sleep that night. I mean, it was like that. So I remember sitting up in my room watching this. My parents' house, my bedroom was a loft over the garage, so I kind of had my own privacy up there. It was fucking great, and I was up there watching this, chewing my nails, making all sorts of noise. My parents were probably like, what the fuck is going on up there? Yeah. A lot of officials down by the WrestleMania sign. I see Rene Goulet. I don't recognize anybody else. We got Earl as the ref. We got Monsoon at ringside in a white tux with somebody. That might be the radio WWF shit. Yeah, Owen, nice little escape there. What I like about this match, too, is they have really, really good wrestling. And like we said earlier in the chat, I mean, imagine Bruce in this situation. How bad that would have sucked. Yeah, good point, John Dennett. Didn't even think about that. Cornette would wear something very similar. He had some long deal. One of my favorite, actually, I think my favorite Jim Cornette promo ever, and that's saying something, is on this show after Yoko survives Lex. I mean, Brett's going to go through send Owen flying. Yep. A little waist lock. It's classic Brett. But Cornette bringing him in to be the spokesman for Yoko was brilliant because he was telling the story marvelously, especially when it came to Brett and what Brett would have to go through and what would happen to him here with his leg and everything with Owen. Yeah, Rene Goulet's out there hanging out at the entranceway. I can't make out who else is with him. I didn't see Gurria or Patterson or Strongbow or anybody else that was back there at the time. Nice. Oh, Magatetti, good to see you, man. Good luck with the move. Sorry you can't be here watching. Love that. I love when Owen does that. Oh, my God. Watch him pull the hair. Yep. Away from the ref's sight. Brett's complaining, and Earl's like, did you pull the hair? And Owen's like, no, man, I would never do that. Yeah, Brett with the nip up here. Yep. What do you think Brett's got on Owen? Maybe 1 inch and like 7 pounds in terms of height and weight? Owen, it's such an interesting match because Owen's a touch more agile, and I think Brett's a touch more stronger. Owen might be more than a touch more agile than Brett. Owen can do some crazy shit. Yeah, Stu and Helen, you would think, would be shitting their pants at home right now. I don't think they're in attendance for this. Oh, that monkey flip. Owen sold it so well. And there he goes. I think if this was any other show other than WrestleMania, I might not have been so nervous, but man, you should have. When Owen won here, I mean, I was too nervous, and I had so much anxiety over Bret that I couldn't really see the writing on the wall. That what I would probably want to happen is for Bret to drop this match, you know. But in my head, I was like, well, now Bret lost. Lex is going to win the title and then beat Bret. He's going to be buried and he's going to be sent down to NXT. Like that was my mindset at the time. Little did I know that if I just would have thought about it a little bit more, Bret taking the loss here would actually bode pretty well for him to win the title later on because of how much story it would create. But when you're fangirling out, that type of logic doesn't really go through your head. Nice crucifix. I remember I first saw Bret. The first time I think I ever saw a crucifix like that was like an early Bulldogs and Hart Foundation match, like maybe 85, like prior to the Bulldogs even winning the titles. And it was like a TV match or something. And I saw it and I was just blown away by it. Simple move. Nice spinning heel. Owen lands some of those, and he doesn't land some of those. That one was pretty decent. Jesus, what did I say, Vaughn? Did I say 7 pounds on the Bret and Owen weight difference? I think I hit it right on the. Maybe I said 8. That was pretty close, though. Yeah, I feel like Bret's got an inch and a half, maybe 2 on Owen, and about 7-8 pounds on him. Yeah, Owen rammed Bret into the post. Bret hasn't injured the leg yet. Oh, man, Kevin, thank you very much for that super chat. Best opening match to Mania ever. I agree. Lost to your mom 4 years ago today. Thank you for being a remedy for me today. Absolutely, my man. Condolences to you. Yeah, 4 years. It's always hard on anniversaries. My dad, the 3-year of my dad is coming up in 2 months. And it's always a hard day, you know. It's tough. So sorry to hear that, man. Glad you're here with us. At least we're watching a really fun WrestleMania and getting our nostalgia on here with Bret and Owen. And glad you're here with us, man. And thanks, as always, for hanging out. Yeah, get them likes up. This is WrestleMania 10, for F's sake. This ain't your daddy's WrestleMania. Actually, it is. It is your daddy's WrestleMania. Yeah, Lawler picked up right where he left off with the Bret bashing. Ragging on Stu and Helen the whole time. What a dick. Ooh, nice high cross. Reversal. Good shot. Yank of the hair. Come on, ref. Yeah, Owen's got Bret on the ropes right here, man. Man, that camera angle on that cover made Owen look really short. Yeah, Owen's probably the same height as Jericho, maybe a half inch taller. Oh, nice German. Ooh, he folded up Brett. Look at that. Nice German. Howard, do I think Luger would have made a good Hulk Hogan if Luger hadn't gone back to WCW? No. I think part of the reason why he went to WCW is because he didn't make a good Hogan. They tried. They tried in 93, and I think the plan from the moment he slammed Yoko on the Intrepid was to belt him up right here on this show. But fans didn't like him. So after that, he would just flounder for another year until going to WCW. So WCW didn't really have much to do with it. It was already a colossal failure, pretty much right from the word go. And the Lex Express. Nice. Oh. Oh, my God. Owen throwing a tombstone makes me nervous, but he landed on his knees that time. Hit it perfectly. Look at Brett sprawled out. Look how far Brett is away. Big headbutt coming from Owen. Ooh, and he missed. Ooh, and he hit hard. Oh, that ring didn't even budge when he landed on it. Hell yeah, Nick. Thank you for that. Something you got to know about that 90s WWE account, though. They steal everything. So I really hate to support them, but I did like the tweet you sent me. But apparently they plagiarize and steal everything and then block the original creators. So they've got a lot of heat, that account. So I usually don't pay it any mind, and I try not to retweet or support anything they do. But it was a funny picture. I ain't going to lie. Yeah, they probably had a few too many things booked for this show. That 10-man tag was tough to squeeze in. Back in these days, too, you had very little wiggle room. And the paper, I mean, imagine this, WrestleMania being 2 hours and 45 minutes long. That's it. That's all the time they had. They didn't go to 3-hour WrestleManias, let me see, until I'd say 17. Or, I'm sorry, 4-hour WrestleManias. I'd say it was WrestleMania 17. I think it was the first one. But back in those days, man, they had to be off. They had very strict time constraints and shit. Where nowadays, they can probably do whatever they want. Oh, Jerry Lawler. Oh, Owen's going to insecurity. Bam, nailed him. How do you not have that scouted, Brett? That's your brother. Sharpshooter. Ooh. Nice. Brett reverses it. Ooh, two counters to the sharpshooter. Raymond, I don't remember the 10-man tag. I remember some of them. I know it was, I want to say Head Shrinkers, Martel, Jarrett, Holly, Kid. Oh, God. Probably Janetti, maybe. I don't remember else. Who else? Bob Holly. Did I say Bob Holly? I think I did. Oh, there's Brett there. Finally, Brett's coming up a little gimpy there on the leg. Yeah, I mean, props to WWE, too, because what they would do after, I think it was after the ladder match, is they would cut backstage. So basically they had to do that on the fly, film that little segment of them not being able to agree on who the captain is, and use that as the reason to scrap the match. You know, so at least they knew enough to say, okay, we can't give them this match. We have to explain it instead of just cutting it and offering no explanation. They tried to make it sound like there was some dissension behind the scenes. And then Vince is just like, I guess we're not going to have them 10-man tag. Time for the main event. You know, so they did the best they could. You got to remember it was 1994, you know. Get him in the ring, Owen. Oh, yeah, Owen. Oh, Owen's mocking Brett, too. Oof. God. Jesus Christ. I like that move. Owen's done that a few times. I don't know what you call it, that leg move Owen has, but he used to do that a lot. I saw him do it as the Blazer once. Yeah, they would give the 10-man tag to us on Raw. I don't remember if it was the next night or the week after. Oh, IRS. Okay, I was like, Tatanka, Smoking Guns. Okay, so I was just missing IRS, Tatanka, and the Guns. I had Holly, had Kid, had Martel, had Jarrett, and had Head Shrinkers, but I forgot about IRS. Jerry Lawler says, Brett should just quit. I mean, it's not a horrible strategy. You do have a title match later on. The last thing I'd want to be doing is injuring my leg right now. Figure 4 on Brett. Yeah, the ring looks extra hard tonight. When Owen missed the top rope headbutt, I mean, he landed. It looked like he landed right on the ground the way he hit. Yeah, previous Mania was the Toga Party in Vegas. They should do another Mania. Maybe WrestleMania, like maybe the 40-year anniversary of that, WrestleMania 49, go back to Vegas, but have DDP host it and have it be a yoga party. That would be fun. We can all do our stretches in the audience. Oh, Owen going after the legs. Smart. Jesus. It was too funny. I remember at the time listening to Lawler on commentary for this. The last time Lawler was on TV, Owen was a babyface. And Lawler and him even had a few battles and stuff. So it was funny to see Lawler back now, all of a sudden, pro Owen. After being such a douche to him prior to this. Oh, big headbutt that Owen sold. Oh, God. Owen could take that buckle bomb just like his brother, or buckle bump, I should say. I like that Brett sold the knee after the leg drop. It's the little things, you know? I remember me and my friends, we used to always like do Stu Hart impressions. Yeah, which one is Brett? Yeah. He would always do that. Yeah. I love Stu's voice. Yeah, I'm going to make a pile driver from Brett. I've been working on a cookbook. It's going to be called Beef Stew. Kick out by Owen. So both guys have hit a pile driver on each other. I think each guy's hit a German. They both countered sharpshooters. And they both applied a leg submission. And now we're going to get a superplex. Not as good as the one from the top of the cage they would do in a few months. Oh, wow. Here we go. They're up there. Jesus Christ. Superplex back in those days, guys, that's the equivalent of a shooting star or a 450. I mean, it was big deal. MJ, or Mr. J, excuse me, 3352. Thank you for the $5. Buy or sell Bret Hart 1993 King of the Ring matches versus Shawn Michaels and Undertaker WrestleMania matches. Well, Taker and Shawn, nothing tops that 25 match. I loved Bret's performance at King of the Ring 93, but Taker, Shawn, Mania 25, there's not too many matches I can put ahead of that one. So I'm going to buy Taker and Shawn. That's me trying to be fair. I want to pick Bret. Cornette, yeah, I think Cornette's. I've heard Cornette's Stu impressions. There it is, sharpshooter. Looks great. A really good visual of the WrestleMania sign in the background. He said it. No, Lawler. Bret's got that all improperly applied. That's one of the worst looking sharpshooters I've ever seen Bret put on. It was just coming off the reversal, though. He didn't have time to set it up properly. Yeah, Ace's superplex looked good because of how tall he was. And Bob could sell, too, like a motherfucker. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Victory roll. Owen leans in. 2. Ah. What a great finish. Owen with the whatever that shit is in his lip. If you could be inside of 17-year-old Greg's bedroom right now, when I was watching this, I think I stood up and I was like, what now what? I was convinced that Bret was completely screwed and that Luger was going to win the title and then beat Bret in 5 seconds in the main event. I was convinced. I'm like, this is horseshit. And another reason, too, is later on when Yoko would face Lex debuted new music. And I think that was the first time they used Lex's new music was later on. So when I see Bret lose and then I see Luger's get this brand new music, of course, in my head, I'm like, he's going to win the title. He's going to win the title and keep the title. I was very sad and very concerned. But luckily, my concern would only last about 2 hours. Yeah, Owen stepped into the victory roll. Down on the shoulders and boom. Oh, what's up? Who's that super chat from? MJ Parker. Good to see you, man. Thanks for the $5. LOL. I am here, though, Greg. Hope you are doing well. Thank you, man. I'm glad you're here as well. WrestleMania 10, man. It's always painful to watch a Bret Hart loss, but it's what we got to do. Oh, Todd's going to interview The Rocket. Great.
Now maybe I'll start getting the recognition I deserve because I'm a better man than you, Hitman, and I'm gonna beat you. Here at WrestleMania, I beat you.
But his Rumble and WrestleMania promos were so out there. I beat you. Here at WrestleMania, I beat you. Yeah, we know. All right, so Owen thinks that he's done too much damage to Bret, and he doesn't have a chance to beat Yoko later on. We will see. Oh, good. We get WrestleMania moments. I forgot about that. Yeah, Johnny from Cobra Kai needed to wipe his mouth. You're both right. Ray Charles. Yeah, the 3 locations was probably not advisable. It'd be tough to do that shit now, much less in 86. Yeah, the halls of MSG have got some pretty cool pictures hanging in there. Oh, I forgot about him. Cy Sperling. And Howard's got the toupee. Now, Cy Sperling, I remember these commercials. I'm pretty sure he just passed away a year or two ago. Cy Sperling. What a weird celebrity to bring in. Look at Howard. Well, I thought Hair Club for Men was like the plugs, like you go through the surgery. I don't think Howard had the surgery. That's just a rug, I think. Howard looks weird, doesn't he? Most hair he's ever had. What a goof. Good to see Howard. Look at his face. Oh, Bam Bam. That's right. Yeah, We Are Pro Wrestling. You're right. They knew. I mean, Hogan, they talked about him a little bit, but I don't know if they knew he was. I don't know if it was really, he wasn't around. I can't believe they didn't bring him in for this, but I wonder if in WWE they kind of knew he was probably going to go to WCW. I don't even know if Eric Bischoff had made that overture towards him yet or not, but it was probably in the works right around WrestleMania 10. The fact that Hogan wasn't there. Hogan wasn't at 10 or 20. How weird is that? Finally, he came back for 30, but oh my God, Doink and Dink. Making Doink a babyface was the dumbest thing in the world to do. I have no idea who that guy sitting next to Gorilla Monsoon is. Oh my God. Strange celebrities. A lot of those usual suspects around ringside, too. A lot of the same fans. Oh, okay. So he was already being brought up on WCW. I remember watching Saturday Night probably around this time, and I heard Bobby Heenan say something on commentary like, I have heard that Ric Flair, is, or Hulk Hogan cannot stand that Ric Flair is champion or something like that. And as soon as I heard Hogan's name mentioned, I'm like, oh, shit. But I have no clue when that was. It probably was right around this time. But yeah, I remember hearing Hogan's name mentioned on TV prior to him signing, and that was all I needed to hear. I'm like, they wouldn't bring him up if they weren't going to bring him in. So, it seemed kind of obvious. Yeah, Doink's wearing his jacket. Everybody's got the long jacket tonight. What's going on? Doink, Brett, Cornette. Or we'll see Cornette wearing one later. Kelvin, a few. This version of Doink is probably Apollo. I think Lombardi played him a little bit. They've had so many Doinks. We All Pro Wrestling knows more than I do. Look at Dink about to take on Bam Bam. Bam Bam, you better watch yourself or Dink's going to fuck you up. Luna. Luna's ready. His main squeeze. I always thought it was funny that Luna was Bam Bam's main squeeze because calling somebody your main squeeze implies that you have other squeezes. Doesn't it? She's just his main one. I'd want to be the only squeeze. That's what it should be called. Like, coming to the ring, accompanied by his only squeeze. That's what it should be. I mean, it sounds like Bam Bam's got a bunch of squeezes on the side. Oh, nice. What do you call that move that Kevin Nash did and Jeff Jarrett did where they sit on you when your throat's on the ropes? Does that have a name? Dink dropping the elbow. Oh, and Luna powers out. What a match. Dink and Luna might be better than Brett and Owen. Thanks for another 5 from Mr. J. Appreciate that. Buy or sell to run your wrestling promotion. Paul Heyman of the ECW days or Bill Watts of the Mid-South days? Heyman. Heyman by 20 miles. Never liked Bill Watts. Ugh. What is he doing? Dink sold that. He landed on his feet and then just did a flip and then sold it. That's great. Dink's a hell of a worker. Luna raking the back of poor Dinker, of the Dinkster. Yeah, I remember when Hogan came into WCW. I'm just trying to remember when he was being mentioned on TV, and apparently it was right around this time. No Undertaker for this show either. I think somebody brought up earlier, because Taker lost that casket match, of course, and levitated to the heavens and wouldn't come back until SummerSlam to face himself. That was some Montez Ford level height on that splash attempt by Luna. Nice drop toe hold by Doink. Jesus. The very next year, this man right here would be in the main event of WrestleMania. Pretty crazy. Dink is better than anything in WWE in 2022. Hard to argue that. Yeah, that's right. Oh, Luna diving over Dink. Dink's just running over everybody. Yeah, that's right. Luna would be in this very ring in this very building. What, 6 years later, doing that Royal Rumble bikini contest? Trying to see how many guys we see tonight that would work Highway to Hell. So far, nobody. Unless Luna was there. Was Luna at Highway to Hell? Was she at that SummerSlam? Did Luna do something? She was around, right? Luna might have been there. Bam Bam was not in WWE at that time, and neither was Brett or Owen. Or Owen was. Oh, yeah, Owen. Did Owen have a match at SummerSlam that year? What the hell did Owen do at SummerSlam 98? I don't think he did anything. I don't think he had a match. Oh, is he going to go for the whoopee cushion? Oh, weird angle on the whoopee cushion, too. He missed. Okay, Luna was with the oddities. Okay. Oh, and Luna worked Owen worked across the street at the Paramount, the Lion's Den match with Shamrock. I remember. We're going to see the Paramount tonight. They had a bunch of fans over at that in that theater for this. Is that it? Nope. And I know Randy Savage would go over there and mess with the fans. Yeah, Lion's Den. Thank you. That was coming to me right as you guys were saying this. I'm like, why can't I think of Owen in Madison Square Garden? I'm like, because he wasn't there. He was across the street in the cage. Okay, so far Luna and Owen would work Highway to Hell. That's it. Top rope headbutt does the deal. And the Dinker and the Doinker have gone down. Rightfully so. I think Luna could have beat them both by herself, to be honest. A little short. Nice. You were at SummerSlam 98. That was probably a fun show. Oh, look at Dink trying to get him some of Bam Bam. Come on, big guy. Look at Dink. Oh. You can't beat up the little guy. Ugh. This is like... Oh! The little guy got squashed by Luna. So this is, I guess they're 7 years apart from the little person beatings, because King Kong Bundy would fuck up Little Beaver at WrestleMania 3. Oh, don't pull his hair out. Come on, Bam Bam. There's a lot of, look at Dink's hair. There's a lot of extracurricular shit going on here that we don't need. There, little Dink and Doink are okay. Look at there. Still buddies. Oh, is this president shit? Oh, they're probably going to have that Clinton look-alike, right? Oh, yep, there he is. That guy, whoever that was, looked exactly like Bill Clinton. Look at IRS. Why is he there? Why? And Jack Tunney? Mike Rotundo? That is awesome. Presidential box. Yeah, Vince is going to take us back to WrestleMania 3. Yeah, WrestleMania 3. At the time, that was only 7 years ago. That's crazy. The WrestleMania 3. You think I got enough copies of WrestleMania 3 on Coliseum Video? I have a lot. Here comes Randy Savage, his final WrestleMania. So sad. It's bittersweet to see Savage, you know? Savage never got a Madison Square Garden title victory, but would have been cool. And this all stemmed. Crush was a babyface, got beat up by Yoko on Raw, and I guess Savage, who was on commentary at the time in the Manhattan Center, like didn't save him or didn't come to his aid. And then Crush was mad about it, and they had like a meeting in the middle of the ring on Raw when Crush came back, and he beat the shit out of Savage. And that set this up. But that was way back. They did that in the end of '93, and this, so I guess, would be the blow-off. No, I don't think this was Macho's last match. Definitely his last pay-per-view match. But he probably worked a TV or live events or something before he left, but it wasn't much. I don't know what Macho Man's official last match in WWE was. I actually don't know. I don't think it was this. Oh, here comes Savage, going right after Crush right away. And here we go. Oh, no. Savage and Crush in the aisleway. Okay, so another thing you got to remember, this is the first time I ever remember seeing a Falls Count Anywhere match. The rules were a little bit different in this one, I believe. I believe the rule here is once you pin your opponent or beat him, he then has like 60 seconds to get back to the ring, and if he does, the match continues. Oh, yeah, this is the same move that injured Savage. I think it was a kayfabe injury. Oh, and look at there, and he pinned him just like that. Match is over, so Savage now has time to get back to the ring. So I think the injury was kayfabe, though. It might not have been when Savage got dropped just like that on Raw, and he like bit his tongue and blood and all that. But I think that was more of a kayfabe injury than real, but it might have been real. Come on, Savage, you better get up. Wow, his last match was a tag with Brett. God, they only teamed up like once or twice ever. They teamed up when, I think they teamed up to take on like Perfect, or not Perfect, but maybe Flair and Razor when they were both champions, like when Brett was IC and Savage was world champion. They had a tag match, but I had no idea they took on Owen and Anvil. Interesting. So Owen and Savage have worked together. I don't recall any Owen Hart and Randy Savage encounters ever. Come on, Savage. Get the fuck, man. Took you all that time? Damn, Savage, instead of getting mad at Shawn and Razor for going long, why didn't you just hurry back to the ring quicker? Oof. When you look at this match, everybody involved is dead. Joey Morello would pass away 3 or 4 months later. Bryan Adams is dead. Savage is dead. And Mr. Fuji is dead. Vince and Lawler are still with us, though. Spaz, what's up, dude? Appreciate the $10. What's up, worker of the good mics? Hope everyone's good. Cheap plug. Fun time to join my show on YouTube, Spotify, or Rumble. AEW reviews as well as previews for EC, No Surrender, etc. Yeah, go hit up Spaz with a subscription. Show him some love. Thanks for being here, Spaz. Hopefully you got your WrestleMania 10 pulled up on your cock and you're watching along. Up, Crush has got the salt. It's the ritual. They didn't get a chance to do the ritual, so they have to do it now. Oh, Lawler. Oh, Salt and Crush his own face. There he is. There's Savage. Nice. Down goes Crush. Yeah, Mike, I'm thinking about doing 3 or 4. 3 or 4 would be fun. I've thought about them both. Start looking at the calendar. I'm going to start getting, a schedule done for these Manias and try to get links up way ahead of time so we know what to expect. Yeah, Regina, but at the same time, though, you didn't know that ahead of time. Like, you knew Kurt Angle and Baron Corbin was going to be Kurt Angle's last match. That was definitely stupid. But at the time here, even though Vince wanted Savage to remain on commentary, I don't think they were expecting, and Crush got pinned. He'll get back in, though. I don't think they were expecting Savage to go off to WCW. His contract was coming up, and he wanted to wrestle more, and they offered him more money, and he left. If WWE knew ahead of time when his last match was going to be, then they probably would have planned better, and probably would have had him lose, too. Can you move where I can give him a drink of water? Is that Shane next to Vince? Y'all. Look, you see him? Is that Shane sitting next to him? I never noticed that before, if that is him. Yeah, Mongolian 3 would be fun because I was there. Fuji is barefoot out there. 15, get up, Crush. You guys are taking way too long. He's barely in. Jesus, man. Oh, Savage could take that top rope backdrop. Crush wearing out Savage. Oh, hard. Smack to crush his head on that ring post. Jesus, man. No, Mike, I was way up top. Didn't even take a camera with me. Got nothing to show for WrestleMania 3, which sucks. You didn't have that. I didn't have that thought as a kid. It didn't even occur to me that I should bring a camera. You know, I was 10. What the fuck did I know? Now they're going to go to the back. Oof. Big crescent kick from Crush. Yeah, apparently. Yeah, Sean and Razor weren't the only ones that went long. It is funny that you hear that story about Savage getting so pissed when his shit went long, too. Well, Joseph, we all know what Shane did when he was young, but Vince never handed him the keys. He said that Shane was a ref in the 80s to early 90s. Vince didn't just hand him the keys. Vince didn't hand him the keys at all. The keys were never handed to Shane or meant to be handed to him. But Shane paid his dues. You know, Vince made Shane and Stephanie both work. Shane reffed, Stephanie worked in the office. We're all aware of their history. Oh, and there's the pin. Now, I think Savage ties him up or something. No, Mike, I have a shit ton of ticket stubs from shows I attended, but not that one. I was too young. I didn't care about saving shit for like another 10 years. So once I started going to shows in the Attitude Era, like I saved my WrestleMania 15 ticket stub. I've got that, and I've got a bunch of Raws and pay-per-views that I went to. He's lifting up Crush. I was going to try to tie that. He doesn't do it good. No, that's not how you're supposed to do it, Savage. Oh, he's making a terrible knot. I didn't even go to Boy Scouts, and I know that sucks. And he's down. He's still not going to be able to untie his ass from that. Kind of wish Savage would have been able to hang him up there a little bit better than he did. Come on, Crush. You ain't going to make it. 15 seconds as Howard counts us down. 7, 6. Oh, yeah. Savage wins. Oh, Savage is bleeding, too. That woman with the blonde hair, she never looks like she's having a good time. They show her like 5 times throughout the night. Yeah. I'm glad. I'm at least glad that Savage's final pay-per-view match was a win in MSG, but it's now been 28 years, and there's always been something painful about thinking of Savage leaving and going to WCW. That was one that I really never got over. Oh, Todd's in the box. Hi, how you doing? Todd's just busy getting a blowjob under the table. No big deal. What do you need, Todd? A blowjob? All right, I'll help you out. Mr. J, appreciate 5 more from you, man. Sorry I missed that one a minute ago. Shane McMahon and Triple H going to AEW is like Hogan and Savage going to WCW and bringing Jim Johnson along to make everyone's music. Kinda. It would be interesting. Oh, yeah, they're acknowledging that IRS is in the box there. Oh, he's got Irwin there to help him out with his taxes. I don't know. I think Clinton's taxes were probably pretty clean. It's that other fucking orange fucker you probably need to look at. What are you doing in the box?
Well, first of all, Mr. President, I'd like to thank you very much for this opportunity, and I must say you're doing a fine job of running the country. And also,
Yeah, he was just elected. This is way before Monica Lewinsky even happened. Clinton was only 2 years in.
out there started paying their fair share.
Ladies and gentlemen from the presidential box, thank you again, sir, very, very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
What's up, Chris Ludecki? I remember with the Savage Crush angle, it was my first memory of McMahon getting physical when Savage shoved him to the ground to get Crush. Wow, yeah. So Savage shoved him trying to get to Crush. Yeah, I remember that. The first time I remember Vince getting physical was when Flair came in. And it was right around the time of the steroid thing, too, but Vince had to get some neck surgery, so they kayfabed the whole thing. They had Piper and Flair get into it at the announce booth. Like, Piper was on commentary, Ric Flair confronted him, Vince is there, and then Piper goes to hit Flair with a chair. He ducks, and he hits Vince. Vince goes down, and then that was basically the angle to get him off TV to get the neck surgery or whatever he needed. I think that's my first memory of Vince taking a bump. All right, we're watching Wrestle. I think this is the first year of what would now be, FanFest or Wrestle Access or whatever. I think this is the first year they did it. All right, while we're going through all this, I'm going to be right back. All right. Oh, Savage is in the Paramount. Oh, no, we're going to WrestleMania 4 recap. Huh. Champion. Oh, yeah, I forgot we got a women's match here. Leilani Kai, who I believe worked the first Mania against, I guess, Richter, right, at WrestleMania 1? Or was it Moolah? Fuck, I forgot now. Look at Leilani Kai. Looks crazy. Not exactly Sasha Banks, is she? Oh, my God. Oh, yeah, AJ, Mean Gene. Good to see you, AJ, by the way. Yeah, Mean Gene bounced in 93. Here comes Alundra. Salamonster was at this Access. Oh, he probably was in New York. Yeah, he's a little younger than me, but he would have been at a good age probably to go to that. Oh, that's cool. I think it's, from what I remember, it's the first year they ever did anything like that. And they would go on to do it pretty much every year. Look at a very young Medusa. She looks good. Alunder's like, this belt might be around my waist now, but you just wait for a couple of years and see where that belt ends up. Look at, is that Mike Chioda? Look at that mullet on Chioda. Jesus. Trying to think what we have left. I know we got like Men on a Mission and Quebecers. there's like a quick earthquake squash. Then we'll probably go to Lex and Yoko. Then ladder match, then main event is what I think we got going on here. I don't know why they didn't call her Medusa. I mean, WWE never really does that. They always, change their name to something that they can own, but they wouldn't always do it, They let Bam Bam come in and, certain other guys, but, I think they wanted to develop a WWE persona for Medusa.
She's much more powerful, much stronger than Alundra Blaze. Much prettier, too.
Leilani Kai is extremely scary.
Well, look at Alundra Blaze. I mean, $1 million body, but a 10-cent.
I always found you notice how the women body slam, especially back in those days. I don't know if they really do it now. But when they body slam you, they almost go suplex. They put your arm over and then they lift you up and turn you over. It's interesting technique that the women they all do it. Or at least they all did it this time. The president. I love that they're not calling him Bill Clinton. They're just calling him the president. Mike Witt, I don't know how you upgrade. Are you guys getting commercials? All I know is I pay $10. So whenever I went to Peacock, I just looked for whatever tier gave me no ads. Like I refuse to watch ads. Hate ads. So I will always pay the extra to not have to sit through that shit. It's got to be a pain in the ass. Like I haven't seen a YouTube ad since YouTube Red or YouTube Premium was invented. I signed up for it the very first day. But I imagine if you don't have it, sorry about that. If you guys have to watch ads in my video, my bad. I know that probably sucks, but I got to make the money.
There are always a lot of TV stars and movie stars at WrestleMania. I mean, they're coming. No, I was just thinking that Alundra Blaze, with her looks, she could star in TV westerns. If she had 2 more legs.
Well, you're such an ass. Trying to front like Medusa ain't hot. My God. Are you kidding me? I was like, I know Alundra Blaze is maybe 30 years too old for you there, Lawler, but nice. German for the win. Solid win for Dusa. There's Blassie, Albano, Nikolai, Moolah. Look at Mae Young. That's before Mae Young was brought around. They're not even mentioning Mae Young's name. Listen. I never knew that Mae Young was here. She'd be in that WrestleMania Royal Rumble 2000 bikini contest too, wouldn't she? But that's interesting that Mae is there because they never mentioned who Mae Young was until she came in like 98 or 99. I never saw her on TV prior to that, so she must have always been with Moolah. That's pretty cool. I think this is what, WrestleMania 1? Oh, no. 5. Yes, Piper came back with Bruce Pritchard and Morton Downey. No, Mike. Sherry was in WCW around this time. She was, I believe, probably with Flair around this time. Sensuous Sherry. I don't think she was with Harlem Heat yet. She might have been, though. I don't remember. All right, tag titles up next. Oscar. Throw your hands in the air and wave them in the atmosphere. Fucking Sir Mo. And he did say it. I was hoping he would say, wave him in the atmosphere. That's my favorite. Away from the atmosphere. I don't know if this is really the atmosphere. Yeah, it is. I guess it's air. Away from an atmosphere. Was Whoop There It Is even out? Oh, yeah, I guess it was. I think Whoop There It Is was like 93. I'm not sure the date on this. Kurt Cobain had either just died or was about to die when this match happened. Mae Young looked 1,000 years old here. 1,000. She's hanging in there. Whoop, there it is. Look at these little white crackers trying to whoop. There it is. White people, we are so bad. Oh, yeah, Rhonda Shear. Sean. Everyone knows we're an item. Burt Reynolds. Burt. I don't know who would win that fight, Burt Reynolds versus Shawn Michaels. I think Burt would. I remember Up All Night. I don't remember what they played on Up All Night, but I remember, like, it's kind of like Tales from the Crypt. Like, in between the bullshit that they played, they would have the Crypt Keeper talk to you. And so they'd have her say shit. It was on USA. I remember it. I didn't think she was that hot. She was okay. And the Mounties are getting their man. All right. Saw a really funny homemade belt in the crowd. Back in these days, kids, there were no replica belts. You couldn't buy them. They didn't exist. I mean, maybe the little shitty toy ones did, but nothing real. So you had to make your own. I think I made 2 belts as a kid. I was really creative with one of them. I took like an old bath towel that my mom said I could just use, and I cut it in the shape of a belt, and so it wouldn't, like cardboard. You would make belts out of cardboard, but they would fall apart. And I also had like these oversized pennies and nickels, but they were big and plastic. So I'd have this like big nickel or big quarter, and it was plastic. So I used those as the side plates. And then I made like a really nice front plate out of some cardboard and some like magic marker. And it looked pretty good because it sparkled and I could put it over my shoulder, and it was a really good looking belt. I was proud of what I created at however old I was, 13 or whatever. How sexy was I when this show happened, James? Pretty sexy, although, let me think, 1994, I was still about, I think, 6 months away from getting my braces off. So I had a mouthful of metal during this show. You weren't allowed to, I mean, you literally were told that if you make out with a girl who also have braces, you could get stuck. So I was scared about trying to get with the girls with braces. Ugh, the braces sucked. Hated those things. Had them shits on for 4 years. Hated them so bad I didn't wear my retainer on the bottom. And look what happened. Wear your retainer, kids. Now I got one tooth all out of whack. I got to either Invisalign it or just pull it. God, it looks like a hot air balloon. Fucking Mabel. Oh my God, it even says whoop, there it is on their tights. Hey, I think we got to show a little love for PCO in the ring right now. The dude is still active and still wrestling at a crazy level. Lawler. Did I have hair when I was 17? Yes, Danny, I did. I was not bald at age 17, luckily. That didn't come for a little while later. Yeah, we got future PCO and future Raven. Good point. Yep, I was correct about that then, Danny. I knew that Cobain either had just died or was just about to die. I was in Florida at the time, and I was driving back home to North Carolina, and I heard the news on the radio. On the road. I was probably like in Georgia. It's probably like midway home when I heard. I even remember what I was listening to. I was listening to Aerosmith when it came on the radio. Ooh, I don't know what that move Mo was doing, but holy shit. Yeah, the Quebecers maintained the gold through all of this. You know, they worked with the Hearts at the Rumble, you know, and they kept the belts all the way through here. I kind of thought they were going to crown men on a mission here. I think the Quebecers escape. It's either a DQ or something, but they don't lose the belts, so. Yep, James, pretty much. You're right. Mo. Mo. What's the difference between a camera and a foot? A camera has photos, and a foot has 5. Oh, look out, Jacques. Ugh. Come on, Jacques. Here he comes. Ooh. I think the whole ring moved when Mabel crashed into the corner. God, they're not going to double. I thought they were going to get away with it. They don't know what to do with me. They're going to get it here. Watch. They'll suplex them. I know they can do it. Yep. Boom. Raven is loving it. Why did you guys not cover him? Oh, they're going for their finish. Oh, there's their finish. Something happens, though. I don't think they get the pin here. No, Mabel's going to kick out. What's up, JCS? WrestleMania 10's going swimmingly. Good opening match. We got the tag titles on the line right now, and I think we probably have Lex and Yoko up next. I think we're really down to 3 matches. Lex, Yoko, and then we got the ladder match, and then it's time to crown the Hitman. You don't slug it out with a man that size. That's true. Oh, down goes Pierre. Jacques down. Oof. Oh, okay, they got him down, but Morella is dealing. Look at Polo and Oscar going at it. Holy shit. He's got the referee, too. Quebecers are fucking up all in the ring. It's a mess. Oh, that's right. Earthquake and Atom Bomb. That was a squash, which was weird. Yeah, we're less than a year away from Raven Oh, and they hit their finish on Pierre on the outside. No, they're going to count it out here. That's what it is. So Men on a Mission is going to win via count out. What's the decision? What do you think, Lawler? Yeah, I didn't love the Brett Pirate feud because Brett wasn't feuding for the title and he was working with, I was like, what the fuck is he doing? It's like McIntyre working with Corbin. I'm like, what's going on here? But yeah, Pierre had stolen Brett's jacket or something, and that's how the feud was born. They had a good match, though. One of the In Your Houses, it was good. And wave them in the atmosphere. That tickles me. Shit fucking tickles. Oh, they have the belts, too? I think they should have put the belts on them. Ooh, WrestleMania 6. Yeah, I'm just drinking. I only had one beer tonight. I've got some gummies that I've been eating and other stuff, so I'm doing good. The only other beers I have in my fridge are real strong, and I don't want to drink an 8.5% beer tonight because it's only 6:30 for me. I got shit to do, dinner to eat. No one is unbeatable. Yep, Hogan went down. Oh, okay. Look at Patterson in his sneakers. Okay, and then this other guy is a new kid on the block, and he's Mark Wahlberg's brother, right? Donnie Wahlberg? Oh, they even call him NKOTB by this point. And you got to remember, too, prior to this, they were advertising the two special referees, and I remember thinking one of them could be Hogan. I had no idea who they were going to be. I'm not winking at her. Look at Mark Eaton gets to hang out with Rhonda Shear. Good for you, buddy. I blew in her ear. She said, thanks for the refill. Oh, Lawler. Look at his little goatee. Ooh. Mr. Perfect. He just announced him like that. This was a shock. And it was interesting at the time because Perfect was supposed to be at Survivor Series. He wasn't. He was gone. They bring him back in here to ref a Lex Luger match, the guy he feuded with before he left. I love that he's even wearing the striped pants. That's the best. Imagine if all the referees wore the complete zebra. Nobody goes full zebra. Pump your brakes, son. Don't go full zebra. But he went full zebra. See, and Lawler is like, how did Lex Luger pull this off? This is not a favorable referee to Lex Luger if you watch the product, Jerry Lawler. Donnie pitched an idea of a feud with him and Mark, I believe. Okay. Weird. Neither one of them can work. I wouldn't want that. I'm glad it didn't happen. I don't give a shit about Marky Mark or his brother. I could fucking care less. They can kill each other for all I care. I mean, I don't mean that literally. I'm just mean beat each other up to death. James E. Cornette. $568 for Yoko. Zuna. Yokozuna. I like Donnie's voice. WWE fan, my heart is with Brett and Owen for the best match at Mania 10, but if I'm being fair, nothing beats that ladder match. It's insane. Look at Cornette's fucking outfit. And that beautiful belt that Yoko carried around for damn near a year. I remember when I was very lucky. The neighborhood I lived in, just houses and houses, safe streets, no traffic. You could just ride your bike and walk and run through the woods and cut through people's yards and all. I went to school with everybody in my neighborhood, so we all knew each other and stuff. And there was these kids that lived like 4 or 5 houses down, and we all made fun of them. They were 2 brothers, and we had like a pool, like a neighborhood pool in the summers. We'd all hang out there. And they would show up there with their New Kids on the Block beach towels. And we used to make fun of them because they were like 2 guys that like New Kids on the Block. And we would pick on them so hard. Like, how could you listen to that shit? Like, we're listening to cool stuff like NWA and Eazy-E and shit. And they're listening to New Kids on the Block, and we made fun of them. Well, they both get older and decide just to go balls out into like karate lessons and become like these really skilled karate fighters. So by the time I got to high school, I was very nice to them because I didn't want to get the shit kicked out of me for revenge for us making fun of them. But I actually got along with both of them great, but I don't think they ever forgot that me and all the other kids made fun of them hard for that NKOTB shit. I'm glad they never kicked my ass. See, and here, too, Lex has this new music, and I'm thinking that it's a done deal. He's winning the title. As a Brett fan, I'm screwed. Look at Donnie trying to get in there on Ronda. You get some. You get some, Donnie. Yeah, they would bring Earthquake back in. Then he would do the deal with Yoko, the sumo match on Raw. They took the ropes down, and they actually wrestled in a sumo match. And then he would be gone. Same thing with Perfect. Perfect would no-show a house show loop when he's supposed to work with Lex, and then he was gone until the following year's Survivor Series. And then he'd, hang out for a year and bounce to WCW? Extremely unreliable. Mr. Unreliable is what he should be called, not Mr. Perfect. All right, here we go. Lex and Yoko. That's the American way, putting Arabian oil in a Japanese car. It used to be the American way. Maybe not so much now, but definitely in the 90s it was, and the 80s. Although I do drive a Honda, so yeah, still true. Look at how big Yoko is. God, Lex is just so patriotic. All that red, white, and blue shit. Jesus, man. I remember that match, Steven Scott. That Diesel Lex IC title match. That was on the lead up to SummerSlam. And I remember that DiBiase was like watching that match with great interest, because that's when they were playing up the Lex Luger sold out angle. Get in there, Yoko. Wow, Luger onto the top rope. High cross, maybe? Yeah, high cross for sure. Yep. The only thing about Luger is, let me know if you agree. I think his legs could use some more baby oil. Need some more. Because 4 bottles apparently isn't enough. Yoko was such a much better worker than Lex, too. Yeah, it's like, I don't understand why, like, Hogan was Mr. America, man, and he didn't come out there looking like an American flag threw up on him. You know, he just wore the yellow and the red and then just had a flag and, you know, it had America in his theme. That's all you needed. You don't need a dress in the fucking flag. Like, Jesus. It's overkill. Oh, Michael Cuomo, fellow Honda driver. I'm leasing currently. I'm going to probably trade in my lease a year early this summer, probably around July. And I might go to a different Honda, or I might do an Acura or something. I'm not sure yet. Look at my options when this summer rolls around. But I really like my Honda. It's awesome. I'm sorry, baby. I had to crash that Honda. Pulp Fiction. Where did you get this motorcycle? Where's my Honda? I'm sorry, baby. I had to crash that Honda. Where did you get this motorcycle? It's not a motorcycle, baby. It's a chopper. Where did you get this chopper? Hogan wore commie colors. Mr. America did, though. Yes, he did. So did the Patriot, even Kurt Angle. I mean, after Hogan, Vince felt like you had to wear the flag all over your fucking face in order to be patriotic. And I think that's a little fucking obnoxious. Like, I vote for who I vote for, but I would never in a million years put signs, stickers, bumper stickers, and flags of the person I voted for all over my car. Seems pointless. And it does nothing except make your car look ugly as shit. Jenny McCarthy is with Donnie Wahlberg. I didn't know that. You know who Jenny McCarthy... I cannot believe I fucking know this. Okay, you have... Back in the day in the 90s when WWE ran on USA, it would have been... It was probably around this time, actually. It was probably 94, 95. They used to run like a sitcom version of Weird Science. The movie Weird Science, they made like a show of it. They ran it on USA, and it was always on either before or after WWE. Maybe on Saturdays or whenever it was. One of those kids that played one of the Weird Science kids, the one who played Anthony Michael Hall's character, he was married to Jenny McCarthy at some point. I don't even know how I know that. I'm almost ashamed that I do, but I do. Would it make you mad as the USA champs when Brett fought Yoko? That would happen all the time, though, with any foreign heel back in the day. As long as they were in there with a baby face, it didn't matter if the baby face was American or not. They were going to chant USA. But he did it. Yoko's got that nerve hold on Lex. Yeah, Weird Science, Duckman, Silk Stockings, Pacific Blue, and La Femme Nikita. I remember all of those. Yoko, too big, too strong. I guess I should put my WrestleManias back. There. Sorry, I really wobble my desk a lot when I move around. I'm sorry about that. Thanks for letting me do some chores. Yoko just taking Lex down, man. And the trapezes. That is a mean man, all right. Worst WrestleMania, I'll go 9 or 11, yeah. Really the only two that really come to mind. I disliked both of those very much. I might even say I disliked 11 a little bit more. 11 was real disappointing to me for a lot of reasons. So I might go 11 even over 9. Because at least 9 was somewhat unique. 11 was like phoned in. It was in Hartford. You know, it was just a normal arena, normal show. None of the matches were that special because everything was so focused around LT. I might even say 11 was worse. Hated 11. Brett and Backlund was such a shitty letdown and a horrible way to blow that off, even with Piper as the ref. I was hoping that Razor would win back the IC title from Jarrett. That didn't happen. Yoko would return, though, and help Owen. But I don't know what Luger was doing there. He either oversold that or just fell all over himself. I'm not sure. Look at Lawler. He's just convinced that Perfect is not going to play nice with Luger. Or is in on it, excuse me, with Luger. What was wrong with the WrestleMania 11? Oh, like, okay, let me think. Everything. Yeah, everything. Yeah. Nerve holds, man. Telling you. They're time killers. Yeah, they're starting to talk about Brett's condition because you got to remember he's got the winner here. I think it would have been interesting to see a Luger and Brett final. And it would have made a lot of sense in terms of like almost like long-term booking because Luger, you know, before they just overnight decided to make him born-again Hogan, he was kind of feuding with Brett. I think Luger can make a case to say that he was the one that cost Brett the title at WrestleMania 9 because at the brunch, they did like a little press conference deal like the day before or the morning of, and Brett got taken out with the loaded forearm of Luger. It's kind of how like they built the whole Earthquake-Hogan feud after WrestleMania 6 on that because Earthquake had hit his finisher on Hogan before WrestleMania. Then Hogan lost the belt. Earthquake took credit for it. They could have done the same thing essentially with Luger and Brett. WrestleMania 11 felt like a bad Raw. Yeah, kind of. The presidential box. That presidential box looked like shit. It wasn't even very nice up there. Looked like just trash on the ground and stuff. Yeah, you're probably right, K-Dog's Kennel. I don't even know if it was phoned in. I just think the idea was so passe, and it was just so, like, why are you doing that? Like, you just lost Hogan, and you're literally trying to replace him. It's like how they would try to do fake Razor and fake Diesel. Like they tried to replace and try to, they kept trying to go back to that well. But Hogan, Hogan was better than Lex. I don't even like Hogan, but Hogan played that American superhero type of guy way better than Luger. And he was way more over than Luger. Hopefully we won't see any more nerve holds from Yoko here. Oh, Luger charging clothesline, trying to get Yoko down here. Nice, JJ Leg. I'm glad you're here, man. Perfect timing. We got Lex Yoko going on right now. You tuned in perfectly because we got a couple of excellent matches coming up in a minute. There's the body slam. Or the hip toss. It was a hip toss. And now the loaded forearm. That was a heel move a year ago. And boom, and he nails Yoko with it. And there's Cornette. And he brings Cornette in. Cornette's selling. Look at him. Those pants are about to blind me. Even Fuji's in the ring. And now he's got him covered. And look, Perfect won't do it. I love it. He's like, no, you guys got to get out of the ring. Perfect's doing his job. First of all, Luger used a foreign object to get Yoko down. Then he brings in the managers and beats him up. Perfect is well within his rights to not count this. Now Luger's pissed. He's like, come on, count. He's looking. He's like, I've got him. Oh, and Perfect's going to ring the bell. Now, this is where things changed for me. Because when this happened, I started giggling like a schoolgirl. I'm like, holy shit, they didn't do it. They didn't give the belt to Luger. I was like, it's going to happen. It's really going to happen. By now, I was pretty confident. And Luger loses. And it was a good way to get out of this. Now it moves Luger seemingly into a feud with Perfect that would never really get going. But, it would be a good way to end that whole Yoko and Luger thing. I was like, I just remember thinking, I'm like, holy shit. Like, I thought it was over. I thought Brett was fucked. And then everything changes in an instant. Teenage Greg was marking out. I'm like, he didn't. Like, I was never happier to see Yokozuna win. I was so happy Luger didn't win the title. I just did not like him at all. Perfect did a great job. Oh, here comes Luger. Yeah, Luger cheated, beat up managers, and put his hands on an official. Yeah. You don't throw managers in the ring. They're on the outside. Look at Dave Hebner, Jack. Is that Jack Doan? That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Well, Perfect. It's a pretty good story, to be honest with you. It's finally some justice, yeah. Man. He's been robbed. Who was better, Lex Luger or the Ultimate Warrior? They might be on equal footing a bit. Lex had some good matches in the NWA, and he could turn it on. Warrior had a few less good ones. I might go Luger. I'd say Luger's better. Oh, the blindfold match. I'll never forget watching WrestleMania 7. My mom thought the blindfold match was the funniest fucking thing she'd ever seen. And she cried when Elizabeth and Randy Savage had their reunion. My mom, who hates wrestling, crying like a baby. Harvey Whippleberger, what are you doing here? Big eared, monkey faced. Fucking Bruno giving it to Howard. Little asshole. A monkey face. You dress like a goof. He looks awesome. It would take a whole year before we got to that tuxedo match between these guys. Oh, look at Howard shoving down Harvey. Yeah, fuck off, Whipple man. He tore his fucking shit all up, man. How dare you? It's a rental. Look at fucking... Well, speaking of chronic, since half of them is in the ring right now. Here comes Earthquake. Big belly to belly. The bell just rang. These two guys, it's pretty safe to say, do not go to the same tanning salon. Big power slam. Look at this. The Tremors. And there it is. Earthquake. All right. Okay, this is going to be the Cornette promo, I think, which is fantastic. Vince almost spilled the beans on what they have planned for Yoko there. Yokozuna's potential opponent one day. Now they're in the presidential box there. The lights are out, though.
Locker room, I'm waiting for WWF champion Yokozuna and Mr. Fuji. What a match. Now, I've been told that Yokozuna should be here any second, and obviously we're going to try and bring you that interview here, but I got to tell you, what a match between Lex Luger and Mr. Perfect.
I can't tell if these lockers are a set or if that's part of MSG.
Wait, I got to just tell you, obviously Yokozuna is still champion, but he was down, laying in that...
Love this promo.
Gotta admit that.
Who's got the belt? Who's still the champion? That's all you need to know, Petty Blue. Let me tell you something right now. Lex Luger, you thought you had everything well in hand, just like a purring kitten. But you found out, in the immortal words of the great poet and philosopher Ian Anderson, he who made kittens put snakes in the grass. And I thought Mr. Perfect did a wonderful job officiating.
Me too.
I thought he was fair and square, head down the middle, and remember,
Perfect did a great job.
special referees were agreed upon by both parties, Luger.
Mm-hmm.
As to Bret Hart,
No lies detected from Cornette.
you punk! It's no longer a question of whether you're going to come out of this match with the World Wrestling Federation title. No, it's a question of whether you're going to come out of this match with your health, your body, and your career intact. Because you've got to get in that ring, Bret Hart, and you've got to think to yourself, you've got to have the pain, the agony,
Petting zoo. I loved that.
of being beaten by your own brother on worldwide pay-per-view. All that running.
Cornette's on fire.
You've got to have the pain of that knee. Don't think we didn't notice it. The pain of that knee that you injured, who knows how badly, coursing through your body, affecting your judgment, clouding your instincts. So, Bret Hart, you are going to have to come to terms with. You're
The close-up on Yoko. Good stuff.
It's a matter of you trying to keep yourself in one piece when you climb in the ring and you look into the eyes of the monster. The most powerful
I don't like looking this deeply into Yoko's eyes. It's a little spooky.
in wrestling history. The great mighty Yokozuna, still the World Wrestling Federation champion. So Bret Hart, you talk
Look at Todd's face.
but he's mad, he's enraged, he's furious, and he's hungry. He's hungry and he wants to be fed. And Bret Hart, he's gonna be the shark. The wrestling ring's gonna be the ocean. And you, Bret Hart, are gonna be the blood poured into the water.
And you're going to be the blood poured into the water. Love that.
Spit you out, Hart, and your career may be over at the biggest WrestleMania of all time. I can't wait to see it happen.
Bonsai. I love that. I was like, I knew he was going to bonsai. Love that. That's all Yoko needs to do. That is exactly why Cornette was brought in for this. To do the job he just did right there. Fucking great shit. Great shit. Well, this might be one of our final WrestleMania moments here. WrestleMania 8 this time. Oh, The Undertaker. I don't know if Bo and Bray are with IRS in the suite. It doesn't look like they are. I didn't see a little fiend running around there. If there is a little fiend in the in MSG, he's probably messing around with Dink. Yeah, well, there's nowhere for Yoko to really go after, losing the title. He had the title for a year, so he's not going to be in the title picture anymore. So, really, AJ, he would go on to feud with The Undertaker, a little bit later on. So he's not, but he did go down the card. He did. But that was kind of the only direction for him to go at that time. The undisputed Intercontinental Champion. It was funny, too, when, Shawn got suspended, took the belt with him, and apparently wouldn't send it back. That's, legit. But WWE has more than one belt, So when they had Razor win it, I remember when he won the Intercontinental title, when he beat Rick Martel, you could tell, when he was holding it, it was a different title. It wasn't the broken-in one that Shawn had been wearing. The leather was a little looser on it, and it had a little more miles on it. This one was much stiffer looking and was new, So they got them both hung up there now. I know they had a couple of Winged Eagles. They used to do Coliseum videotapings all the time from the studio. Probably the same place where they filmed Primetime Wrestling. And Gorilla and Johnny Polo and other people would host those. And I have one, the Bret Hart one. And I think it's Polo and Gorilla hosting it. And behind them, they have two Winged Eagles just sitting right there. And I'm like, so I wonder if those are two more Winged Eagles in addition to whoever the champion was at the time, probably Bret, who has the current one on him. So do they have three? How many they got? I've always wanted to know that. It felt like the evidence was there that they probably had three of everything. And then if one got lost, they got a replacement, and then they'll replace the replacement. I guess. I don't know. I don't know what the internal policy. That's a good question to ask Bruce on one of those something to wrestle shows. He's just a sexy boy. He's not your boy toy. Razor. It was funny, too? I remember when Razor first came in, his music was so badass. I never knew. It took me 3 years to realize that intro part was tires screeching. I just thought it was a noise that came before the song. I didn't know it didn't register to me that they were car tires. It didn't sound like it to me. Now I hear it, but I remember at the time, I'm like, I didn't even know that. I just thought it was, and he goes under the ladder. I just thought the beginning of the song went for some reason. I had no idea why. That wasn't the sharpest tool. Mick Foley's theme would be a little more recognizable with the tires screeching, but Razor's, I didn't really get it at the time. Hey, I can hang mine up there. We can make it 3. The IC belt's right there, man. We can hang it up on the winner takes all 3. Yeah, one Winged Eagle was the hardcore belt. I remember there was the rumor that the hardcore belt was the belt that Mr. Perfect chopped up on Saturday Night's Main Event, which I remember. But apparently, it's not the same belt. But they fucked something up to make that title. That's for sure. But it could have also been just an old Reg Parks belt because that design was around. Like in ECW, I think the TV title was the Winged Eagle design and the tag belts were the Intercontinental design. So it could have been like a different belt that was just designed to look like the Winged Eagle. It's possible, but I don't know what that exact belt was. Man, I love a good wide shot of MSG with a fucking wrestling match going on in the middle. Look at Diesel, a young Kevin Nash. He just got there less than a year before. And he'd be on the verge of winning the IC title himself in just a couple of months. He'd beat Razor for it before dropping it back to him at the SummerSlam. Wow, Michael. I thought the 95 ladder match was good, but I didn't think it was anywhere close to this one. Plus, they had different rules by then. They couldn't use the ladder as a weapon in 95, where here they were beating the piss out of each other with it. And all of this offense, what makes this match so unique, is I'm probably going to repeat it a lot, is that all of this offense that we would see was innovative. Nothing had been done before. And so that's why, like, if a fan who's only been watching wrestling for 10 years watches this match, they might not think it's that special. But as a 17-year-old kid, never seeing, this is the damnedest thing I'd ever seen up until this point. I hadn't even gotten to the point where I had seen the super gnarly shit in Japan yet, and ECW had not gotten that crazy yet either. So, you know, this was unreal to me at the time. Yeah, Scott Hall kept his accent when he got to WCW, and the WWE would file a lawsuit for that because Hall would keep the toothpick and the hey yo, and he'd tone it down a little bit shortly after that. But yeah, he initially took that with him. Scott Hall for the ride. Chet Kopic, that's who's with Gorilla. Vince loved him some Chet Kopic back in the day. I don't even know who he was. Some radio personality or sports talk show host. I never listened to him or knew where to find him, as Kevin Nash just gets involved on his outsider partner here. Man, can you imagine that only 2 years after this, 2 years and like 2 months after this right here is when they would go to WCW? How crazy is that? I mean, Diesel didn't even have a run. His run was 2 years in the company. 3, really. But as a wrestler, Diesel probably only had a good solid 2.5 year run where he was regularly in the ring in WWE before going to WCW and changing the business. Two years then feels like 10 years now. Time moves so much faster as you get older. I remember everything when I was a kid, but I don't know what I had for lunch yesterday. It's crazy. Yeah, they hadn't even started going for the ladder yet, so shit was about to get nuts. Yeah, Big Sexy just got thrown out. Now it can be Mano a Mango. Oof, Sean took that bump. Look at the way he cartwheeled through that. Right over the ropes and then continued rolling. Sean's got to be, what, late 20s here? He might be 30. Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame that Taker couldn't stay healthy enough to work this one. Would have been interesting to see what he would have done, you know? No way. He's going for the Razor's Edge. He is way too close to the ropes, and there Sean's going to counter that. Ooh. That's right. They moved the pads out of the way. What hit first, his head, arm, or knee? Not sure, Lawler. Oh, yeah. Yoko's run felt like a lifetime. I'm like, how long did this motherfucker hold the title? Sean's finally got this ladder. What I thought about, look at this. Sean's acting like this thing is like 600 pounds. Look how he's dragging it. Is that how you would carry the ladder in? Wouldn't you just pick it up with one hand and walk it over there? Now, this is where it gets nuts. Now, watch this move that's about to happen here. Razor's going to plop this up in the apron, and Sean's going to baseball slide it into his gut. That's when I knew shit was on. Ooh. See? And I was like, oh. See, and I saw the Brett and Sean ladder match, and I'd seen the Calgary Stampede ladder matches. But that's kind of when I realized that they can do some damage with this thing to each other, and they would get so nuts with it. Because Brett and Sean took it real easy. They worked like a Coliseum video match, ladder match, and it was an exhibition. They were just walking through it. They weren't doing anything nuts. But this was a whole different beast here. And I think, too, I think the 1995 ladder match, as he just rams it into Razor's gut there, they would have a second ladder, but I think they realized they didn't know enough to put another ladder. Now when there's a ladder match, what do you have, 65 fucking ladders out there? But back in these days, there was one ladder only, and it would bend. This ladder took some punishment in this match. Ooh, and he just jammed it right into the gut of Razor. So I think that was when they were like, hey, to avoid a catastrophe here, we better put a second ladder, and I think they would use two of them in 95. And now look at this shit. Jesus. Brett always gets really mad that Sean took the ladder match idea, and then he threw it at Razor. So it's all Sean first, and I think Razor gets a little bit of revenge with the ladder here in a minute. No Mike, no Raw review tomorrow. I'm not even going to watch Raw. It's on Sci-Fi. No thanks. So yeah, I'm not going to be checking out Raw tomorrow. I know they got Rollins and Riddle advertised, so it probably will be decent. But yeah, I will not be paying any mind to WWE Raw tomorrow night. We'll probably next be up here on Wednesday for the watch-along unless something crazy happens news-wise. The ladder should be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Maybe. But this is a real actual ladder that they went to Home Depot and bought. Now it's just the fiberglass or wooden ones that are painted, and they have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them. Ooh, Sean. Oh, my God, that's a lot of Sean. That's way too much Sean for me. Just Sean made an ass of himself. Oh, Vince. Oh, this is going to be the splash spot. Love it. This is it. Big body slam. This is one of the best visuals. Like, a 2022 wrestling fan isn't going to think this move is special at all. But I'm telling you, in 1994, boom, that visual of Sean just gliding down onto Razor. That's a brain tattoo is what that is. You'll always remember that one. Yeah, surprised they didn't blur out Sean's ass. You can't blur out Sean's ass. That's offensive. If we're lucky enough to get a little taste of Sean booty, you don't pass that up. I love the overhead camera shot. Sean selling that. Unbelievable. Vince and that unbelievable shit. God. Yeah, I was like, Sean must be late 20s. He is 29. That fucking mullet is something else, isn't it? You know, AJ, Sean is probably pretty lucky that he's not like Mick Foley, who obviously only gets asked about one match. But Sean probably gets asked about the screw job, so I guess he's might be in that boat. But his body of work is so impressive that it almost makes you forget about the screw job because he's had so many other great matches. But poor Foley. Yeah, I would imagine that the two that Sean get asked about the most is the screw job and this one. We got to finish off Ramon. He's going to use it as an offensive weapon. Big bump by Sean. Yeah, now Razor's got a chance here. Yeah, I mean, somebody bleeding would have been all right, but it wasn't my immediate thought watching this match. I was just so amazed the way they were using the ladder as a weapon. I was okay with no blood because this match was just spectacular for 1994. I'm trying to think of a match in modern times that this would be equivalent to now. Or maybe not even now, but maybe in the last 20 years rather than the last 30. Like this, Sean's going to get slingshotted. What else are we going to see at WrestleMania? Well, Vince, one more match for sure if these guys don't run too long here. This might be one of my dream cards. See that guy right by Razor in the front row with the denim or the blue shirt right in the corner? That might be my dream seat. Corner seat on the aisle, front row, WrestleMania 10, to watch Brett and Owen and to watch this and to watch the next match. I might take that above WrestleMania 3 because, of course, I wasn't in the front row for that. But if I was, I think I'd take this experience over that. Razor's got another chance here to get those beautiful, sparkling gold belts. No, Sean's going to the top rope. He's going to stop him. He's going for it. And he stopped. And the ladder lands on Sean. What a match. Well, both guys are out. And we are down to our final, 30 minutes in the show here. So you guys got to get going. We got to watch Bret Hart win the title. Love that overhead shot. Well, now they're both going for it. The ladder is kind of crooked a little bit. And now they're both going to... So this is like 400 pounds on this. 400 plus. 500 almost. Climbing on this ladder. Look at those shots. Razor's punching up and getting the better of this exchange. Oh, wow. Oh. And Sean took a hell of a bump there, and the ladder just twisted. Razor's like, I got to get on this. Yeah, he's going up on the wrong side of it, too, I think. Sean drop kicked the ladder. It was enough to knock Razor over. And the belts are moving and swinging. This is before they even thought about having somebody hang from that apparatus and fall from it. It was way before they ever did that. Oh, smart by Sean. God, that thing's got to just hurt. They're got to be so bruised up. Ooh, big super kick to Razor. That looked good. That's before Sean was using it as his finish, I think. Razor's out. I'd get the ladder and climb up there, dude. Haha, JJ leg. I'm going to go with Brett's chest first bump. Because Brett just did. He could just take that like a man. That would cave my shit in, but he could do it and make it look so good. Oh, hit him with a pile driver. Good looking pile driver. Folding up that twisted ass ladder. Oh, I forgot about this spot. Yeah, he just sandwiches and squishes Razor. Oh, he's just gonna. Let's look at the side of the ladder. Is really close to Razor's face here. My God. Here he comes. Ugh. Razor definitely got the worst of it, I feel like, with the ladder punishment. Yeah, I liked Sean's pile driver. He hit that good on Razor. Open that damn ladder. Does it put it over top of Razor? Yeah, there you go. Double bend. Here goes Sean to the top. Oh, there we go. Shoulder tackle into the ropes. And look at Sean positioning his foot there to get caught. Now he can't get out. Kind of similar to how Owen would lose the cage match at SummerSlam. Kind of the same idea. Look at Sean. He's trying to get out. Get up there, Razor. Sean's a mess. Nice, and now his arm's hooked. Too late. I like how Razor takes these belts down. Jesus. What a bum. I mean, he just pulled them down. I mean, imagine if he fell and one of them stayed up there. He'd have to redo that whole spot. Like, he almost pulled the ceiling down. That whole cable probably just came flying. Look at how it's swinging. Even in the wide shot, you can see that cable just moving. Crazy. What a match. That shit was just incredible. What a match. Oh, the 10-man tag. That's right. It's like I feel like Vince is on headset right now talking because I love this shot of Razor with the belts. Chico. Such a visual. MSG. One of the best Intercontinental matches of all time. Rewrote the business with the ladder match. Big Scott Hall moment for him. And that's Scott Hall. That's Razor Ramon at his peak right there. Take it in. Oh, there's a commotion going on. Here we go. Look at this. Head Shrinkers and IRS and Double J. Double J. Alpha. I'm captain. Yes, let Alpha be captain. He's the captain. And Vince is like, oh, we're just not going to have it. Instead of like, we're running out of time. We got to go to the match now. Oh, there's Bill Clinton. While Bill Clinton is talking, I'll be right back. Oh my God, $1 Million Man is there messing with the president. I love it. No 10-man tag for us, man. That's right. Okay, reviewer. I'm glad you got a chance to see this finally. I was marking out. I couldn't believe it. Oh, what are we looking at here? WrestleMania 9. Ew. You know, they originally had filmed some sort of documentary on the making of WrestleMania 9, and it never saw the light of day. I've just seen a few clips over the years, but I'm curious if they'll ever allow us access to that footage. The Hitman is unbelievable. So, I know that this is edited for sure because on the original pay-per-view, the song that's playing here is Bret Hart's theme music. The theme that he would come out to in just a minute. Look at this fake footage. See this black and white shit with Stu? They're trying to make it look like that's Bret and Owen, but it's not. That's just Dallas and Bret's other kid. Oh, I think it might be Harry. Might be Harry Smith and I thought I recognized Harry there. But yeah, this is Bret Hart's theme that is supposed to be playing, not whatever this generic sounding garbage is. Weird. I don't even need what is the point of this video package? At least with Bret's old music, it was better. My God. Okay, we don't need all this anymore. This is so weird. Fucking terrible music. Down, down, down. I mean, it's all great footage, but the music is ruining it. Yeah, why would they give us a video package on Bret anyway, you know? Although by this point, me watching it, I was confident. I was like, oh yeah, Bret's winning now for sure. Once Luger came up unsuccessful, I was marking out. You should have seen me. I was like, I cannot wait to watch Bret win. I just knew he was going to win. I know, right? Why edit out Bret's theme? Maybe because it's not his theme. He wasn't using it, but still, like, put his newer version theme together then and use that. I don't know why. God, how much of this do we need? All right, there we go. That's probably the end of it. Oh, we got to get a Yoko Video package too. Okay, so I know some trivia about this theme song. The music that they're using here, I think, is either public domain or you can buy to have it licensed because Road Warriors used this in WCW. Or Hawk or Animal was in kind of individually, like during the early Nitro days, before they went to WWE in 97. I'd say 95, 96, when Animal and Hawk were hanging around WCW and on some of those early Nitro cards. This is the theme music that they used to come to the ring to. And Yokozuna gets it here. So at least it wasn't just a Brett package. It's a Brett and Yoko package. So that makes more sense. Okay, here we go. Let's bring out the celebs. I like the little music they play for these guys. Burt Reynolds, and who is it? Oh, not Jenny McCarthy. What's her name? Jenny Garth. That's right. I never watched Beverly Hills 8562J. And Burt Reynolds. And he's got, what happened to his hand? They say he got mugged, but I think he just got drunk or something. Look at Vince. He's such a fucking kiss ass. He's standing up. Vince is so pathetic. Like, Vince was not the over-the-top, arrogant egomaniac that you would see in the sit-down interviews with Bob Costas and all those other things years later. He was a fucking kiss ass to these celebrities. It was so funny to watch him grovel at their feet and just smooch their balls with all of his mighty Vince lip glory. I don't know what's going on with his hand. I forgot. I'm happier to be here than you are. Oh, really? Are you sure, Bert? They should have had Norm Macdonald doing Burt Reynolds. He's not even doing a good job. He just trailed off there. This is our second World Wrestling Federation Championship match. Oh, yeah. Referee. Now, at least they brought Piper in, you know? Piper. I was happy it was Piper. And I liked, this was really smart of WWE because both referees, they weren't just two random names. They had history with both, and it was interesting that they brought in two referees that had history with the babyface, because 2 years prior, Brett and Piper had a very bloody war for the Intercontinental title. So it was interesting bringing him in here, and they had said that all parties had to agree on the special referee. So I like that there's some story there, because if you're in Yoko's camp, you would probably think, oh yeah, Piper and Brett, they fought a couple years ago. So Piper's not going to be automatically for Brett, just like they thought the same thing about Mr. Perfect. They were right with Mr. Perfect. They would not be right with Piper. Piper loves Brett. I like this Piper theme better than any other one he used. And he'd be back. He would work King of the Ring against Lawler. And here comes Yoko. 2 matches for a 500-pounder. That's not ideal. The World Wrestling Federation champion. Ooh, Mike Witt, the night after Mania this year, The Rock comes out and challenges Roman for a match at next year's WrestleMania. A whole year out. That'll be here in L.A. My plan is to be there. Alan Carter, thanks for that. Had to double check online. It turns out the original music from the Bret Hart video package was a Tom Petty song called Making Some Noise. Huh. Well, on this, for sure, it's Bret Hart's theme. So maybe on the pay-per-view, because I don't remember, I don't have this. I don't think, I no longer have a copy of this one from pay-per-view. So maybe the pay-per-view version had the Making Some Noise. And since it's a Tom Petty song, they probably didn't want a Tom Petty song on the Coliseum, so they used the Bret Hart song, and then they changed it again for Peacock. That's the way I think it probably went. I don't remember the Tom Petty. I don't remember that song the night of, but hell, it was 28 years ago. I could just be not remembering. Bret's limping. I'm loving it. Yoko goes after him right away. Yeah, as a fan, I was feeling pretty good. You know, because, I mean, Piper is the referee. It's the main event. They're not going to have Yoko beat Bret here and the show goes off the air. You know, like the minute Luger was DQ'd, my whole demeanor changed. I went from being frustrated that I wasted my money to being into a euphoria. I was just so happy. I'm like, it's going to happen. I get to go to school tomorrow and be happy. You know, I don't have to be fucking pissed that Bret Hart lost. Big chop. Yeah, Bret was still using the original Hart Foundation theme. He wouldn't start the other theme until King of the Ring. King of the Ring, when he would face Diesel, was when he used the theme that he would use pretty much for the rest of his career. Michael, okay, on your WrestleMania 10 video, had the Tom Petty song, which was from the WrestleMania 13 video box set. Okay, I have that. I have it. It's not up here, but I have that big box set of WrestleManias. It's actually in the closet with all my DVDs, or my recorded DVDs. That's cool. Okay. I guess the only version I've really seen in later years is this guy here. Yeah, I do like the fact. I mean, I think Vince was probably had him write that in to have Burt put Bret over. And in my opinion, one of the greatest athletes in wrestling today. Yeah, there's Piper Lawler bringing up the Piper Bret match from number 8. Yeah, look at Lawler's even like, yeah, see. Look at Piper getting into it with Yokozuna. You've met your match, motherfucker, if you want to start yelling at him. Even Cornette might be in a little bit of trouble dealing with Piper. Look at Piper going after Cornette now, too. I love it. I love it. I mean, this match has pretty much been all Yoko because Bret has got one leg. I mean, Yoko looks a little disheveled, too. I mean, his thing is way down, his belly button showing. His little big bow tie or whatever that thing is that he wears around his waist is all misshapen and crooked. He's back up. He's fine. Yoko sells those fists pretty good, doesn't he? I'm trying to think, too. I also remember finding it really interesting that they went with the same main event 2 WrestleManias in a row. They had never done that before either. They almost did it with Hogan and Andre, kind of, but they met earlier on in WrestleMania 4. And we wouldn't see something like this until years later. Have they ever repeated like a main? I know they've repeated a match. Like Taker and Shawn repeated, Taker and Triple H repeated, but none of those were main events. Has there been Rock and Cena, I guess. Yeah, so I don't think this would happen again until Rock and Cena. Am I right about that? And hell, it's still not even totally the same because at least both of these matches were championship matches. One of those Rock and Cena matches were not. Brett's still coming hard in with them right hands. Yeah, Michael, I remember when Gorilla used to call Hogan the greatest pro athlete in the world, greatest professional athlete in the world today. I'm like, I disagree. Yeah, Brett is just hammering Yoko. Oh, man. Oh, Cornette. See, another great thing that Cornette does, when Piper is winding up, Cornette is like, oh, shit, like he sees it coming and then he takes the punch. Like, great stuff. Like Cornette, it was at this moment that he knew he fucked up. Like, there's nothing he could do. Like, he's out cold. Fuji's slapping him around trying to wake him up. Fucking great. Austin versus Rock. Did they do it 2 years in a row, though? They did not. They did 3, but they were all a year apart, right? They skipped one. 15, 17, 19. So, yeah, I'm looking for back-to-back, same match in the main event. I think Rock and Cena are the only ones you're going to find. Yeah, one thing I will say, as much as I love what's about to happen here, it's a silly finish, and I would have loved it if Brett just tapped Yoko out to the sharpshooter instead of them doing what they would do here, which I guess was an attempt to keep Yoko strong and make it, and that they would tell the story, I know the next night on Raw, where Vince would mention fate. You know, as fate would have it, the ropes weren't strong enough and Yoko falls, and it was fate that won Bret Hart the title, not the fact that he's fucking better. So I didn't really love that as a Bret Hart fan, but he had the title, and that's all that mattered to me. He's trying to let Brett up, I guess. So nice of Yoko. Oh, not Cornette's tooth out too, huh? Piper counts so fast and so loud. Brett, you need to get in there. Yeah, did I say Brett fart? Shut up, Ben. Don't make fun of me. I didn't mean to say Brett fart. Yeah, when I like do my podcast and stuff, sometimes I get talking so fast, I'll skip over words and shit. Yeah, lots. We've seen some Mania rematches. We've seen Taker Shawn. We've seen Taker Triple H. We've seen Hogan Andre. But, you know, never both in the main event, both for a title. I think Brett and Yoko are the only ones to do it. Next best thing would be Rock and Cena, where only one match was the title, but they were both the main event. Here comes Yoko. Look at Brett. He's going Bulldog. Definitely going Bulldog. Takes him down. Go, Brett. Come on, Brett. Now we got get a couple of babyface near falls for sure. One. Yeah, fucking Piper, man. He's full in ref mode here. Hey, what's going on, Yachiro? Good to see you, man. Yeah, Maka, I agree. They should have put Brett over stronger. I think Brett should have beat Yoko with the sharpshooter. Because he had him beat with it the year before Fuji salted him. It would have been a good full circle closure, full circle moment, give some closure to this whole thing. But nice clothesline. Yeah, Anvil would go on to use the Hart Foundation theme after they changed Brett's. It was weird to think of that theme as a heel theme because it never was. Hart Foundation went baby. They got that theme when they went babyface, so that theme was never a heel theme ever. So it was weird to kind of think of Anvil like that. The surprise on Dynamite, I don't know, guys. We're going to watch that shit together to find out if it's Shane McMahon or Triple H, but I think it's probably somebody like Keith Lee or Johnny Gargano. We'll find out. Now Brett's going for something. Yoko, I believe, catches him. Yeah, belly to belly coming up. Oof. This is, I think, where they go into the finish here. And that's it. He's toyed with him long enough. Damn, Lawler, that broken down piece of garbage. Fucking asshole. Yes. And Brett is way under there, too. He's going to have to move and move quick. So, Yoko goes and then, so look, he starts shaking. The way his legs kick in the air when he falls is just bizarre. And here comes Brett. New champion. Look, and Piper gets the belt and just throws it on him. And Yoko looks super surprised. So they really made Brett feel like the underdog, in that, which is going to be a great crowd pop, but I think Brett should have just submitted him, beat him with the sharpshooter. Instead of falling ass backwards into the championship victory. That's my only complaint, but hell, it's Madison Square Garden. Brett won the title, main event of the 10th WrestleMania. That's who they put over. 10 years later, they'd do Benoit and Angle, or Benoit and Eddie, and they'd have that moment, and it would feel much the same. It was like, wow. I can't believe in WWE's, living room in Madison Square Garden, they're putting over the wrestling fans' favorite guy instead of the mega superhero superstar. You would assume it would be Hogan and Lex and guys like that, but Brett got it. Brett's in there alone with a winged eagle that he should have never lost a year ago. I was very happy. Greg was happy. And Vince is just putting it over here. A brand new era. He's trying to get over the new generation hard right now. See, he's standing up. Look at him. Vince is going nuts. Vince is just going crazy on the outside. I love this visual of Brett lifting the title. Great stuff. That's my WrestleMania memories thumbnail right there. Oh, yeah, and Lex is in the ring with him. And that is the cover art there to the show. Shake the hand, yes. Yeah, JJ Leg, what's going to be the Mania moment for 40? Brett was 20. Benoit and Eddie were, Brett was 10. Benoit and Eddie were 20. And Brian was 30. So feels like they got to have that for WrestleMania 40, right? Burt Reynolds is in there hugging Brett. I love it. Razor. We got Tatanka. 1, 2, 3 Kid. Bob Holly. Luger. He's done the impossible. Vince. Oh, Rhonda Shear's coming in with Pat Patterson's helping her in. I love this Macho Man, and he hugs Brett. That's my 1 and 2. So to see that, who gets to see their number 1s and 2s hug, Oh, because you can't have a wrestling celebration without Donnie Wahlberg. So, look, Gorilla Monsoon's in there congratulating Brett. Gorilla's always had Brett's back. Always. So good. Vince, I think, just jumped off headset. He said he's going to join him as well. And I know Owen will come out to the entranceway here. And he shakes Vince's hand. Looks like we got a... Everybody's ignoring Vince. And there's Owen. I remember kind of thinking Owen would get in there with him, but you knew this was going to be your summertime program here. Look, Gorilla holding the ropes, Randy holding the ropes. Owen's like, nope, you motherfucker. Love it. All right. Yeah, and Brett's talking back to him, too. He's like, it ain't over, little brother. It ain't over. You wait. They would work the WrestleMania Revenge Tour and do all that. And then, of course, they would have the big cage match at SummerSlam, which we watched last year. So, fun stuff. All right, and Brett continues to celebrate with the crowd. All right, well, that is a wrap on WrestleMania 10. I'm glad we finally watched that one. It's been a long time coming. I'll think about what to do next week. We might do 20. We might do another one. In the meantime, I guess we'll be back on Wednesday for the Dynamite Watch-Along, and if we have any major news story break in the next couple of days, I'll be up here with a news report, but there will be no Raw review tomorrow because Raw's on Sci-Fi, and I don't really feel like watching it. So you guys should see me on Wednesday for Tony Khan's big announcement. Have a great rest of your Sunday night.